episode 367, I will be recapping tonight's WWE Monday Night Raw live from Grand Rapids and talk a little bit of news right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Welcome, wrestling fans, to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock, thanking you and welcoming you tonight, wherever you may be listening, but hopefully right here on Spreaker, the main home of 360 Wrestling podcasts. But you can also listen to any of the 360 Wrestling podcasts just about anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And to start this episode off, tonight I will be recapping WWE Monday Night Raw. And Raw was live tonight right here in Michigan in Grand Rapids. And at the Van Andel Arena, the commentators Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves and we see footage from earlier in the day of Becky Lynch and Lita arriving at the arena. They will face Damage Control tonight for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And in the arena, we see one half of the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Jimmy Uso, along with Solo Sikoa. No sign of Jey Uso here tonight. And they are in action, the Bloodline taking on the Street Profits. And the Bloodline is victorious, defeating Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And then post-match, they go on the attack again, attacking the Street Profits. But it is Kevin Owens making his way down to the ring to make the save. And when we come back, we see some replays of Omos challenging Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. And then we have the VIP lounge with guest Brock Lesnar. And when it is time for the show, before MVP is able to make his way down and host his own talk show, Brock Lesnar is already there first. And then MVP makes his way out. And he has some kind of drink. I don't remember. I think he might have said it was moonshine or something. Maybe. MVP drinks some, spits it out on Brock Lesnar. Not on purpose, more on accident. But Brock Lesnar, of course, not too happy with that. And then he gives MVP an F5, and he accepts Omos's challenge to face him at WrestleMania. So it's official now. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I know some people were kind of hoping that's not the match we would see Brock Lesnar in. And next up on Raw, Kathy Kelly interviews Becky Lynch and Lita. And Cody Rhodes defeats Chad Gable with Otis in his corner, or should I say Otis, now that he's getting in with the Maximum Male Models. And Cody gets the win, like I said, over Chad Gable. Not a bad match here. And we find out that this Friday night on SmackDown, Roman Reigns will be live, and not only the Undisputed Universal Champion, but also the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes will be there to finally have a face-to-face confrontation with Roman Reigns before their championship match at WrestleMania. And Byron Saxton is backstage with Baron Corbin. He's frustrated by always being interrupted, disrespected, and then Byron Saxton interrupts him to go to talk to Kevin Owens. And he says the Bloodline should be worried about their consequences. All he wants is to see the Bloodline fall. Up next, we have a video package on the Judgment Day from last Friday night's SmackDown. And then we see another movie thing, getting ready for WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. And this time, I actually know what movie this is, with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. It's Titanic. Yes, I have heard of Titanic. And I knew it was from that. And speaking of these movie parody trailers, I finally found out what movie that is, the Seth Rollins and the Becky Lynch one. I heard them talk about it on from Sunday night's main event, Tuesday Morning Cooked, on their Patreon, that it's one of the newer Batman movies. Batman, I don't know what the new ones are called, but one of those new ones with the Joker. Maybe it's Batman and Joker. But I didn't know it was from one of them. But I haven't seen a Batman movie probably since Batman Forever, I think, with when Jim Carrey played the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face. But that's probably the last one I've seen. And the last Joker I remember probably when Jack Nicholson played the Joker in the one Batman movie. So I don't know who played this Joker, or I do know one of the newer looks because of Sting, but it looked a little different than that too, though. I don't know. I'm sure you can tell I'm not a big Batman fan, but I did know Titanic tonight. And then we see the Judgment Day backstage. And it does look like the Edge and Finn Balor feud will be continuing to WrestleMania. And then we see Otis outside the trainer's office, and Maxine Dupree walks up to him and says they'll be in his corner for his match tonight. And Asuka defeats Carmella via submission. I'm glad they're making Asuka look strong heading into Mania for her Women's Championship match against Bianca Belair. She looked good tonight. Piper Niven and Candice LeRae next. LeRae gets the win via pinfall. And first, when Candice LeRae makes her entrance, after she walks out, coming down the aisle, we see Nikki Cross make her way out, kind of sneak out. Last week, she said to Candice LeRae that all of her friends are gone and she's lonely, so I'm guessing they're going to do this angle where Nikki Cross believes that her and Candice LeRae are friends, or at least she wants to be friends with Candice anyway. And The Miz makes his way down to the ring, and he says his guest for Miz TV tonight is the host of WrestleMania, and it is none other than the A-lister himself, The Miz. Not too much of a surprise. The way it was kind of built up last week, you could kind of tell that that's what was going to happen. The Miz hosting WrestleMania 39 this year. And then Seth Rollins comes out, talks about Logan Paul, and he wants The Miz to call him. But then Rollins ends up getting The Miz's phone, calls him, and Logan Paul does answer on FaceTime and tells The Miz to stop calling him. So, hasn't been officially announced yet, I don't think. Or wait, yeah, he did accept tonight, so I guess it is official. Seth Rollins and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. There's some reports out now, though, that it was originally supposed to be taking place John Cena versus Logan Paul, but apparently that was changed in January. Austin Theory, you see, cut a promo, and Bobby Lashley makes his way to the ring, and he is in action against Elias. Short win. Lashley gets the win via submission with the Hurt Lock. And then Lashley goes to leave the ring, and then we see Bray Wyatt with the Muscle Man dance, but now they have added Lashley into the video. Well, I know it's early on in this feud, but so far I cannot say that I'm a fan of the feud between Lashley and Bray Wyatt heading into WrestleMania. Who knows, maybe it could get better, and maybe they'll have an entertaining match at Mania, but so far, the first night, it didn't really get me excited and looking forward to this match between Lashley and Wyatt. And Otis is out next, making his way to the ring with Maxine Dupree and the Maximum Male Models. Now Otis is in action with Maxine Dupree, Mace, and Mansoor in his corner, taking on Johnny Gargano. And Dexter Lumis appears from the crowd and attacks, or kidnaps Mace, I should say. And Gargano gets the win with a pinfall, defeating Otis. And Kathy Kelly is backstage with Paul Heyman. And he says Rhodes will confront Reigns, and Reigns will confront him this Friday night on SmackDown. And the main event for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, the champions Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, defending against the WWE Hall of Famer Lita and the Man Becky Lynch. This one, not a bad match, I didn't think. And Trish Stratus makes an appearance tonight and a little assist to Lita and Lynch, allowing them to win the Women's Tag Team Championships. So we have new champions, Lita and Becky Lynch. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this now leads to a 6-woman tag team match for WrestleMania. The team of Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus taking on Bayley and Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky. But who knows, I could be wrong about that. And next week on Raw, we have Kevin Owens taking on Solo Sikoa. Seth freaking Rollins and Logan Paul will go face to face. Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. The Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair will take on Carmella. And will be the return of John Cena to Monday Night Raw, which I am guessing that this will set up the build for their WrestleMania match that's been talked about as of late. So that was tonight's Monday Night Raw here in Michigan, in Grand Rapids at the Van Andel Arena. It was an alright show, I would say. Nothing real great, but I wouldn't say it was real bad either, or anything. Nothing really bad on the show. And now to get into a little bit of news. It's being reported that Vicky Guerrero is leaving AEW. It has now been announced that AEW superstar Jon Moxley will be taking on Davey Richards at Bloodsport 9 over WrestleMania weekend for GCW The Collective. Ricky Shane Page has signed with Major League Wrestling. That's pretty good for them. Now that they got the TV deal with Reels and Pro Wrestling TV. Nigel McGuinness is set to appear at Progress Wrestling Super Strong Style 16. And this Thursday is the return of Ring of Honor TV, which will be airing exclusively on Honor Club. I'm not sure just yet. I don't know if they've said just yet, but at what time the show will be available on Honor Club, start streaming. But it has been announced the main event of the first show this Thursday will be for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Claudio Castagnoli taking on AR Fox, which should be a very good match. Like I said last week, I have decided to subscribe to Honor Club, getting close to the show. And so far I am impressed with it. Like I said, for subscribers of the 360 Premium subscription service on Anchor, Fanatic Unleashed 9 is now available there, where I talked about the very first Ring of Honor show in February of 2002. The era of honor begins. So if you can, subscribe, support 360 Wrestling Podcast. It's only $4.99 a month. And that show is available on Honor Club, as well as collections from AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Tyler Black, now known as Seth Rollins, of course, and some of the other big stars that have been through Ring of Honor throughout the years. And as far as full shows go, it goes back to 2013. So very good. Of course, it was free anyway, but they have the Jay Briscoe tribute show. Plus, they have like a collection of the Briscoes, including the fight on the farm they did, and some of their other classic matches in Ring of Honor. And very good so far. Like I said, I'm impressed. I definitely recommend at least trying it out for a month or so. Now that the new TV show is starting every Thursday. And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you once again for tuning in tonight right here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to podcasts. I will be back tomorrow morning for the Tuesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to you then. Until then, I am Lance and I am a wrestling fanatic.